What's up, Baffle Gang? I think you're gonna like this one. Roll it.
Weeks ago, I talked about people on TikTok talking that there was a artificial sun placed.
Yeah, during the solar eclipse.
Did you know Russia developed a satellite that mimics an artificial sun?
For what purpose?
I'll tell you. So this space engineer, Vladimir Siromyalnikov, he came up with this concept, this giant satellite that would open up and have these mirrors on it that would mimic the sun. And the whole point of it was to help with farming in Soviet Russia at the time.
Makes sense.
It ended up getting supposedly decommissioned, but they said that this satellite was capable of spontaneously igniting buildings and cities and drying up lakes and rivers. They tested it in France too, and they said it was 50 times stronger than a full moonlight.
It's kind of
crazy.
The satellite,
You know, I'm not sure if you heard this or not, but China back in 2020 was looking to make a second moon, and recently a second sun is what we heard, and now we're hearing this. Crazy.
it was called Znamya. I'm convinced that we're still using it in some capacity, and I only say that because we talked about direct energy weapons, and they not use that to start fires.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Because that was
that
their
too,
fear, is weaponizing it. I'm convinced that they figured out a better way to use it.
Yeah.
think about the Canada fires that we covered last year. It's
I
like,
don't know what to think about it.
guys, there's 2 suns confirmed.
So we've actually seen tons of these videos here recently of there being 2 suns in the sky. This is the first time that I've actually heard a theory on what that could potentially be. And this makes sense. So I don't know if that's what is causing this 2 sun phenomenon that we keep seeing, but something's got to be doing it, because you can't have this many people all over the world with the understanding and know-how to fake videos showing 2 suns in the sky. That wouldn't make any sense at all.
I've seen a few, but I haven't seen it be a full-blown situation where everybody's recording 2 suns in the sky. Like the video, subscribe if you're brand new. Let's get baffled together with this one.
CEO just got grilled about all the conspiracies and whistleblowers and safety concerns and everything that's been happening. This is wild. Just watch this.
I think the truth is, Mr. Calhoun, you're not focused on safety, you're not focused on quality, you're not focused on transparency. All of this is in the record, but I think actually you're focused on exactly what you were hired to do, which is that you're cutting corners, you are eliminating safety procedures, you are sticking it to your employees, you are cutting back jobs because you're trying to squeeze every piece of profit you can out of this country. This company, you're strip mining it. You're strip mining Boeing. It was one of the greatest American companies ever. And you are strip mining it for profit, shareholder value, and you're being rewarded for it. You got a huge...
Oh, we must protect this man at all costs. I'm not sure if you heard this or not, but like 2 people that came out about the whistleblowers, right, that worked at Boeing, both of them died mysteriously right after whistleblowing that Boeing is not safe. It's not a safe plane to be on, right? Like, that's what they said, not my words. That's what they said, though.
Huge raise, a huge increase. So it's working out great for you. For the American people, they're in danger.
Absolutely.
For your workers, they're in peril. For your whistleblowers, they literally fear for their lives, but you're getting compensated like never before. Don't you think maybe your priorities are misplaced here? I mean, don't you think maybe it's time to get back to focusing on making quality planes and paying your workers well and taking care of the little guys who got you to where you are?
Yeah.
That's not a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Senator, I don't recognize any of the Boeing you described.
You don't recognize the Boeing that has airplanes falling out of the sky, that has had 2 Maxes crash?
I'm glad to hear that something's being done about this whole situation.
Absolutely.
I think they need to be questioning this guy about why all the whistleblowers that come out against Boeing seem to disappear or unalive themselves. Before we go on to the next clip, I just want to let everybody know at the end of the video, if you stick around to the end, we're going to be opening mail. So if you sent something that you've been waiting to see me open, that'll be at the end of the video.
Okay, all day today, it's about 1 in the afternoon. Skies have been crystal clear. Okay, crystal clear. Planes flying across the sky all day long. But now, all of a sudden, what you're about to witness, okay? They're starting to come now. Crisscross applesauce all up in here.
Yeah,
you're gonna
they're spraying hard chemtrails.
What's going to happen to these crystal clear blue skies, okay? Remember,
oh no, I don't like it.
Planes have been flying all day. And then all of a sudden, these guys...
Yeah.
Boy, that's kind of weird. It's getting a little hazy 2 hours later. It's so strange. It's like, why wasn't it hazy earlier with all the planes flying, and now it's hazy?
Yeah.
Because the temperature hasn't changed. That's weird. And there it is, at the end of the day.
This is what it looks like, huh?
Southern Utah.
Yeah, like, why are they doing it? What purpose? Well, they're spraying chemtrails in the skies, right? There's gotta be a purpose for it. Perhaps to poison the food. I guess it's slow poisoning us as well, right? Breathable air is getting poisoned as well.
Breathe it in.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that the cloud cover there at the end of the video is caused by these chemtrails. I'm 100% convinced that chemtrails exist, that they're a real thing, and that they're doing something in the sky to try to manipulate the weather. I mean, that's a given as far as I'm concerned. But in regards to this video in particular, several hours had passed from the start of these chemtrails to the time that he saw these cloudy conditions. So the sky changes, the atmosphere changes, clouds roll in, clouds roll out. I don't think this is necessarily proof of anything, but I also don't think we need proof. I think there's enough evidence out there already.
The average person, no idea this is going on. No idea. They're shutting down the food supply worldwide. They are culling the livestock. They are buying up and shutting down the farmlands. They're cutting off farms from water like they're doing in Idaho. 500,000 acres of prime farmland. In Oregon, they're stopping you from growing your own food in your backyard and imposing severe restrictions to your water usage there. They are saying to reach our carbon goals, we're going to destroy the ability to produce beef, chicken, eggs, and fish. Call it whatever you want. Say it's for climate change. Say it's for health. But the outcome's always the same. You're just trying to shut the food system down. Why these people hate this, why this is a threat to them, can only be explained by literally being at war with God's creation. This is an act of war against humanity.
And this has been ongoing for a minute now. I have been hearing how many farmers just stopped farming, right? Like, yeah, I've been hearing this topic for a while.
So I can't remember which state it was in, but I was just reading an article yesterday where they were talking about a farmer that had some ridiculous sized farm, I think 2,700 acres or something like that, and he had already invested like $300 or $400 per acre getting his crops ready for the season, planting, fertilizing, watering, all this. And then the state came in and said, whoa, buddy, we're running low on fresh water. You can't water your crops.
Yeah.
And this dude's
Crazy.
just going to lose everything. There's some other solution there. They could have figured something else out instead of just telling this dude, tough luck, you're screwed. And I'm reading stuff like this all the time. It is starting to feel like they're intentionally tampering with the food supply, because if they can control our food supply, they can control us. You're going to do whatever you're told.
And we did a video recently, which I will link you in just a little bit right towards the end of this video. Stick around for that. We had UFO sightings in that video, but on top of that, we had fake food versus real food conspiracy, and it is real, folks. It is real. Yeah, you definitely want to check that video out. I will link you towards the end, all right?
If you're starving to death and the person giving you instructions has access to food.
He predicted 3 world wars. The first world war, he said, must be brought about, and I'm quoting from Albert Pike. The First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the czars in Russia and of making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergences caused by the agents of the Illuminati between the British and German empires will be used to foment this war. He says, quote, the Second World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists.
Okay.
This war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism will be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel in Palestine. He's now thinking about this Third World War, and it says that it will be caused by the differences between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other.
Damn.
That's what it says.
And we're kind of seeing that right now, right? With Israel and Palestine right now, in a way. Israel is just killing so many children there.
Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion.
Yeah, the war
So I'm not a big fan of people making predictions. I think a lot of that's just a guessing game. I do find it interesting, like the likes of Nostradamus and stuff, people that have this record of accurate predictions that spans a long period of time. I think that's interesting, but not typically something that I put a lot of weight into. And I don't know when this Albert Pike guy made these predictions, but I will say this. The first two were pretty spot on, and number 3 is sounding like it's coming true right before our very eyes. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this kind of content, I make a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday. It'd be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me.
It is our responsibility to reflect and to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles.
And that's how it starts every time, right? They roll out some expert that tells us, hey, you know that thing that everybody considered to be morally reprehensible and abusive? Yeah, well, you just need to change your perspective and be more tolerant. Then they roll out a different expert that says, well, actually, this sort of thing has been practiced by different cultures around the world for centuries, and maybe you just need to change your own biases. Then, of course, there's a child psychologist that will tell us, hey, we've conducted a study, and that study has demonstrated that these sorts of relationships can be mutually beneficial. Then before you know it, it's just another letter in the acronym, another symbol on the flag, and another float in the parade. Except for this time, I would advise you to be careful, because there's a lot of moms and dads.
In a way, they already are trying to make it okay, which is just absolutely pathetic and disgusting. You know the MAPS flag, right? Yeah, those of you that know, you know. If you don't know, well, I'm glad you don't know, but I guess you need to know, because that's what's going on
out there, where if you touch our child, we really don't care what expert, politician, law, or study you present. Things are going to happen that are going to make you wish that the police got there first.
I'm starting to see enough of this stuff that it's starting to look like there's a calculated effort to bring the idea of pedophilia into the mainstream and make it socially acceptable. I don't have any problem whatsoever with someone's sexual orientation, but this right here is disgusting, and the people who are spreading these ideas are morally corrupt, morally bankrupt, and everybody needs to be aware that this is the new thing that they're trying to push on us. And
they have been pushing for a while. It's always starts with, hey, just give me an inch, and then they take a mile. Give me an inch, you take a mile. It's that, right? It's been happening, and I also got no problem. You live your life, but don't tell me how to live mine. Simple as that, okay? And leave the kids out of it. Simple as that. They don't need to be indoctrinated at the school about all of this crap as well. Yeah, we have been seeing this go around for years now.
Need to fight it tooth and nail, because this is disgusting. It's extremely wrong, and I don't want to live in a world where something like this is socially acceptable.
The Cheetos are tainted. I know it's not relevant to the page, it's just a friendly PSA. If y'all know who this is, please tag him below.
Not the Cheetos though!
He's ruined so many foods for me. There's no reason a fried food or whatever, a baked, should have living organisms in it.
US versus UK? Oh man, no. It's not that I have had Cheetos. I didn't have Cheetos in a long time. Maybe this is one of those bad apples kind of situation. This is like one bad bag of Cheetos that had living organisms in it. Right, could be that, but still, like, you don't want to find that crap out, man.
It looks fine right now, right?
Oh, man.
No.
Oh crap, oh man. Yeah, whoa!
That is disgusting.
So you're able to see it with naked eye as well? In a way, that's good, because you're able to see it with naked eye, so next time you pick up, I guess you do what he did, you just break it in half and try to eyeball it. In that aspect, it's good to know if you can see it with your eyes, or if it's only visible with a microscope, of course, then we're out of luck, because not everybody got a microscope, right? Like, man, what are we doing there?
How? My question is, have they always been there, or is this something new? If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
I was under the
and also, is it just one bad bag of Cheetos?
The impression that all food that we eat has microscopic organisms moving around and crawling around on it. So this doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't really even gross me out, because I've always kind of had that assumption. There's microscopic organisms crawling around on your food. You can't see it with it.
One thing, he's bringing that up, right? One thing is 100% a fact is that you got microorganisms just walking all over your body and your face. That is true as well. If you look at your face with a microscope, you're probably gonna be disgusted. Yeah, now you're probably thinking, hey man, I gotta go run wash my face. Even if you go run, yeah, for a second it would be clear, but after that they're gonna come back because it's like we're talking about the air, right? And it's all right. It's because our immune system is strong enough to battle it out, right? We also got good bacteria inside that kills. There's a war happening literally inside ourselves right now of good bacteria versus bad bacteria. The good one is trying to kill the bad one, so the bad bacteria don't like overpopulate in your body and kill you, right? Like, yeah, so it's a real thing. It's a real thing. But of course, if it's in our food, then yeah, right? Especially in a packaged food like Cheetos.
The naked eye, so you're not aware it's there. It doesn't really hurt you. But I will say, it made my stomach turn a little bit when he broke that thing open and there was stuff crawling around on the inside of it. I don't think that's supposed to be normal.
The government of Turkey claims they have found the grave of Noah. This is a normal human thumb bone. Underneath is a giant human thumb bone.
Oh, man.
This was found right near Mount Ararat in Turkey.
Holy!
People say one...
That's a thumb bone? That's like almost his entire...
man and 3 boys could not build a boat that big. Oh, you didn't see those boys. Hey, Bubba, bring me that tree, would you? There's a jawbone in a hotel in Turkey on display right now. 6.5 inches across the TMJs. Any one of you could put your head inside and rattle it back and forth inside the jawbone. The legend in Guam is that giant people built the latte stones there. Who is moving these giant rocks anyway? That's a camel in front of it for scale, folks. In Wasaki, Wisconsin, 100 years ago, giant skeletons were found in a burial mound. One of the skulls was 3 times the size of ordinary humans. In Walkertown, Indiana, 8 giants ranging from 8 to 9 feet long, all wearing heavy copper armor, were found. Through the bungling of the diggers and the disinterest of the museum establishment, the discoveries were scattered and lost. The Smithsonian has been very active in hiding discoveries about giants because it goes against the evolution theory. See, evolution says we started off tiny and we're getting bigger and better and stronger and smarter. I think the Bible indicates we started off bigger and we're getting smaller and weaker and dumber.
I think he's right. I think we started off bigger and stronger and we're getting smaller, weaker, and dumber. Definitely getting dumber. So I'm completely convinced that giants existed, and I'm completely convinced that the Smithsonian's trying to cover it up. But I thought it was interesting that
if they existed, why are we trying to cover it up? That's the part that's baffling to me, no pun intended. Yeah, that's the part that's interesting to me. Why are they covering it up?
He proposed the idea that Noah and his sons were of giant stature, and that's why they were able to build the ark. That's a very interesting idea. It's not something I'd ever, I guess, really even considered before.
So you guys know how we've been going through a heat wave as of lately, right? So they have found a new method to geoengineer the ice in the Arctic in order to add more ice in order to stop the process of this called heat dome. Check this out.
These researchers are deep inside the Arctic Circle.
I have to put the gloves on again.
Scrambling to solve one of the biggest challenges mankind has ever faced: the decline of sea ice. From underwater drones to tiny glass beads designed to reflect sunlight away from the ice, the race is on to slow the melt and in turn, global warming. In a desperate bid, researchers are increasingly turning to geoengineering innovations. The Wall Street Journal exclusively followed one team with a big plan to future-proof the region.
Of course, it's challenging to work in, but it's great for freezing.
By making more ice. This is Svalbard, one of the coldest inhabited places in the world. The Norwegian archipelago is inside the Arctic, where sea ice covers roughly 6.2 million square miles in late winter. In summer, as the weather warms, it melts to its lowest level. But that ice has been shrinking at a rate of around 13% per decade, which could have catastrophic consequences for the world.
In essence, it helps keep the planet cooler than it otherwise would be. So if we start melting away the snow and the ice, we're going to warm up faster.
Sea ice reflects sunlight back into space, which means as it melts, the Earth absorbs more heat. One study estimated that the complete disappearance of Arctic sea ice in summer would have the same warming impact as 1 trillion tons of carbon dioxide. That's more than double America's historic emissions. A Dutch startup is attempting to slow the melt by geoengineering the Arctic.
Why am I doing this? Well, I was first intrigued by the question, will it work? It's partly because I thought if I can do something,
this guy looks like Elon Musk a little bit.
In our battle to curb the climate change, then I should just do it, and I should just go. I told my daughter I'm going out to try and create new ice so we can potentially save the polar bears.
I understand the desire to do something if you feel like there's a problem and that needs to be fixed. I understand wanting to go and try to fix it, especially a problem the size of what people think global warming is. But have none of these scientists watched the movie Snowpiercer? Because this is directly talked about in that movie. And
I have not watched it. Okay, maybe I got a movie recommendation out here, right?
Is the cause of the world collapsing. Making an attempt to actively cool our planet could only have negative consequences.
Simply put, like, if you toy around with Mother Nature, the Mother Nature is gonna toy around with you. Whether you're trying to freeze it or, I guess, melt it or whatever, just don't F around with that. And this was that video that was talking about we have real food versus fake food conspiracy. Alongside, we had UFO sightings and other stuff. Check out this video. You're absolutely gonna love it. Or you're gonna hate it, I should say. But if you already seen it, then check out the video on the left.